Good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Carraway. I'm here to say a few words about my dear friend, Jay Gatsby. He has told me many stories of his youth, from growing up on a poor farm to being a well-decorated and successful soldier to attending Oxford College, and finally finding his dream of owning his own mansion. Jay was born on a small, poor farm in North Dakota. He never felt at home on the farm, and from day one, he wanted to live a more luxurious life. He was always one for champagne and caviar. Jay once told me a story of a man by the name of Dan Cody. I believe it went something like this. He worked on the icy blue Lake Superior, fishing and digging for clams. I always remember his banter about those salmon. One day, he saw a yacht passing by, owned by none other than Dan Cody, a wealthy copper mogul. He rowed out to warn him about an impending storm, which surely would have destroyed that yacht. The grateful Cody took young Gats, who gave his name as Jay Gatsby, on board his yacht as a personal assistant. That is how Gats morphed into the one and only Gatsby. In 1910, James Gats became Jay Gatsby. He traveled the seas for many years with Cody. After Cody's death, Gatsby expected, but did not receive, an inheritance. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he picked himself up by the bootstraps and decided to make something more about himself. Jay has been very successful in ways other than his wealth. Jay served in the Great War and made his country proud. During the war, he reached the rank of major in the U.S. 16th Infantry Regiment and was decorated for valor for his participation in the Marne and the Argonne. After service, he briefly attended Oxford College. Years later, Jay began bootlegging, making the millions of dollars for the lavish parties we know him so well for, and to buy this marvelous house that is nowhere near an eyesore. That's how I came about. I am a stockbroker and decided to move into a small cottage that many might call an eyesore, right next door to which I hadn't known at the time was Jay's house. One day, I received an invitation to one of his extravagant parties. I was wandering about the party, sipping a few drinks here and there, chatting with some dazzling dames. As I was asking around to find Gatsby, I realized that most of the people there simply didn't know him. Finally, while looking from the balcony, I asked a man if he knew Gatsby, and with a smirk and a glimmer in his eye, he said, "Why, that's me, old sport." And that's how our entire friendship started. Over many months, I went on many journeys, from trying to spark a friendship between Jay and my dear cousin Daisy, to partying in bootleg bars. Then one day, it all stopped suddenly. Sadly, the day my dear friend was killed. Gatsby has an extraordinary gift for hope. I will never forget the dear last words I said to my best friend. "They're a rotten crowd. You're worth the whole damn bunch put together. Jay Gatsby, you'll live in all of our hearts as an American classic."